All right, here we go. Try recording once, but I got confused where to go. So now I think I'm on a trail. Get confused in the first 10 seconds of the walk. So we'll see. I feel like Iron Man or Tony sitting on the spaceship out in the middle of space, recording possibly his last memoir to Pepper, because there's no service out here. There's nothing. I happened to luckily stumble upon this place, or signs for it. But it's like covered. It's like, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is secluded. Trees everywhere. I'm hoping, like I said, I'm going the right direction. You can hear the river to my left down below the hill. Yeah, so I think my GPS mostly got me here, but the address it gave me was not correct. It was out in the middle of nowhere. So luckily, coming back down the road, searching for internet, I happened to see a sign for somebody who was offering shuttles and service for the Devil's Bathtub. And so I was like, cool. As I was sitting there looking around, I was like, hey, I got this little road off to the side here. Let me try it out, because I'm like, you're offering a shuttle service. It's got to be near. Sure, I went down that road, found some signs that said Devil's Bathtub. And here we are. So, supposedly, if I go left, that's the shorter way to the actual place. Or if I go this way, it's the longer one. This is off to my right. So then, when the first time being here, I don't think I'm ought to go to the left shorter one and go straight to the thing and maybe look into the loop. It's a 7-mile loop already. But the fun part about this is there's a nice little creek we get across before we even get 100 yards into this. So, and there's a trail marker, so that's good. I was going to try to do this with minimally getting wet. Since this is kind of cool out here, but I'm feeling like I should just go straight in and say screw it. So, it's cold. Water's cold. Oh yeah, water's cold. Water's actually not that bad. Yeah. This is kind of fun. Like I said, it's coming up to my shin. So I didn't really want to tell you about it last night, babe, but there was I ended up stumbling upon a lot of reports about flash flooding in the area here. A lot of people who got kind of stuck because of the creek, or the rivers can rise so quickly. And just literally, I think 2 weeks ago, they had to come in here and rescue like 16 people or something like that, because they got in here in the rain, put the rivers up too high, and okay, great, excellent. It's always good to know to keep that idea. All right, here we go. Maybe not. Maybe this is the division right here, because I got the sign. All right, Devil's Bathtub, Devil's Fork Loop can go either way, which is correct. Straight Fork Ridge is the other way. So actually, all right, so never mind. Here is our actually divide already. Like I said, we're going to take the shorter of the two just for today, since I'm here by myself. And I'm like, literally, there's nobody here. I pulled up, there was one car up there. I have no clue where that person's been. And there was a truck pulled in just as I was hitting the trail. So, like I said, it is super quiet up here. And that's nice. It's nice and peaceful. I'm not looking for, gorgeousness. It's just straight up super quiet. There's like a little campground right there. Did read a lot of articles. This place wasn't taken care of a lot, but so, all right. As we pass the time, as we go through here, I'm going to post this on line 2 as well. if I didn't start it off properly, but today is June 17th, 2020. I have trekked my way up to the Devil's Bathtub, which is about 3 hours away from home, guys. It was pretty much, I go all the way down into 81 into Tennessee for a couple minutes, and then I pretty much hop right back up north and come back into Virginia. But supposedly this is a hiking trail with supposedly some swimming holes in it, and one of them is actually called the Devil's Bathtub, which was a funny name you would have for a natural swimming hole. So but anyways, so I started this trek. I'm super kind of nervous doing it by myself. Normally your mom's with me in a lot of these things, you know, or somebody's with me. But you know what? Trying to get out of my comfort zone in a lot of things that I failed to do over the last 40 years. So, all right, we're at another crossing of the river, of the creek. I mean, it's now raining a little bit. I can feel on top of my head. I'm just going to go ahead and suck it up and get my feet wet. This is actually pretty fun. I probably would not do this with you guys until you got older, just because there's going to be so many creeks to cross. Now, supposedly if you go the other way, you go the longer of the two ways, it is no creeks to cross, but it is kind of a difficult hike. Very rocky, lots of roots everywhere. So, somebody just straight chopped down that tree. You can't really go that way, so I guess we're going this way. Okay, cool. This one is one of those ones you definitely gotta look for the trail markers, because it looks like once the amount of people have been in here, you can see all kinds of random stuff off to the side. But anyways, so figured I'd go ahead and talk to you guys. Mom had said something to me about, she watched all my videos on YouTube, and she'll pass it on to you guys that if ever something ever happens to me, that's how I've left like my own Tony Stark memoirs to you guys and her, or some thoughts that I had and everything. All right, cool. Random piece of metal. Just sitting in the creek here. No, it's actually in the ground. Okay, we're gonna leave that then. Good thing it's big enough for somebody to see. Mom had mentioned something to me about making a video about how we met, you and your mom, how I met your mother, just like the TV series. And yeah, I figured I'd take a couple minutes to do that on my short, probably 1.5 mile, 2 mile hike up to the bathtub. Anyways, so Daddy was not a good guy growing up, especially towards women. Did a lot of mean things to them, used them a lot for my own purpose. And so when I finally accepted Christ in when I was 24, I was in a business called Quick Star, and I mean that had its ups and downs. But they were the prosperity gospel. So eventually Bishop, Uncle Dave, left, and he actually got some sound teaching, brought me along, told me about it, and we started actually, reading the Bible ourselves. We found out that the prosperity gospel was false, that everything's by God's grace and His mercy towards us, and that we do is we just obey and follow His word. So shortly after that, I started doing some dating websites, to find somebody to hang out with, and I hung out with a couple people, nothing serious. A couple of them I was interested in, they were interested in me, and vice versa. But then I went to christianmingle.com. And I was on Christian Mingle for a while because, of course, I was looking at fellow people who love the Lord. And I talked to a couple people on there. Then I stumbled upon your mom's profile. And your mom, the story she gave me was she just made a profile. She made a profile because she had a friend, Christine, or not Christine. Oh, what's her name? Oh, I can't remember her name now. But anyways, she did one just to kind of, I guess, be a good friend and do one with her friend. And so she put some work into it, like your mom does everything. She doesn't hardly do anything unless she's to her best of her ability. And started reading it. And I'm like, you have this opening paragraph on your dating profile, which is kind of like your opportunity to introduce yourself, say something witty, funny, get to see if you can get your personality in 750 or less words. And reading your mom's profile was all right. And then she started making comments about Star Wars. She started making original comments about the original movies and how much she loved Star Wars. And she used a couple lines and quoted them. And that piqued my interest. I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to this woman. I'm going to see what she's all about. So I did. Pretty sure I shot her maybe a message or something. I don't really 100% remember that part. Oh, rocks. Yeah, shortly thereafter, she emailed me back. And I think we talked for a little bit over emails. I think at the time it was possibly MySpace was the website we used. And we sent messages back and forth. And we had fun. We had chit chats. And then came for her time for us to make the phone call. To actually move away from emails and letters to phone calls. And my first phone call with your mom was shortly after John was born. That's your cousin John. And they were all up in Canada. And I called her on the phone and talked to her in Canada for just a little bit. And then when she got done in Canada and she got back to North Carolina, I talked to her even more. And so eventually, of course, talking on the phone, we talked for hours. It was a rather lengthy conversation we always seem to have. And still don't understand why people take trail markers. It seems like a silly thing to me. But anyways, so we talk, and I remember us having a conversation about communism and how much communism should, in effect, somewhat resemble this church. In theory, not the form that we know of today in, communist countries. But yeah, there's all kinds of extra trail markers, right? Extra trails. But anyways, so she, we also talked. I remember her getting in a conversation with Uncle Dave on MySpace about Peter and kind of like our responsibility to the church. Maybe I don't remember 100% details of that one. But anyways, so we talked, we had some good conversations. And then it was time for the in-person meet. So your mom, I think, actually suggested I come down to Charlotte, North Carolina and see her, which is fine. That's the chivalrous thing to do. I come to her place. I do the drive. And I went there. And she, from what I understand, she had people watching her just in case I was a serial killer and wanted to kidnap her. But I met your mom in a grocery store parking lot, and she got out, and man, she looked good. I remember she was wearing like this skirt and this jean skirt and like this really, I think, white shirt. Oh, wow. It's a little bit of a dip here. Oh, cool. I feel like I'm kind of, there's a little rope right here. Okay, cool. I don't really need that. I'm good. And she had her hair was all curly. And I was like, she looked nice. Good looking woman right there. All right, crossing another stream, so hold on. Yeah, so, needless to say, I was excited to get our date started. She had planned for us to go kayaking. I had actually never been kayaking before in my life. So, that seemed like a fun thing to do. I think I was supposed to cross someplace back over there. Okay. We'll find out. Yeah, this trail is not marked very good. But anyways, so they went to kayak. At the time, pretty sure I had issues with my neck. And so kayaking was not the most comfortable thing to do. It was already pretty tough. I remember not being comfortable in the kayak at all. And we kayaked this little island. And your mom had brought lunch. So we got out there, brought the lunch, sat down, had pretty good conversation. You know, was eating some good food. Really more snack food. It wasn't anything like major. And then we just kind of sat there and hung out for a little while. And so we started goofing off. And I, being the big macho man, wanted to show her how cool I was. And it was this fallen tree. And I was going to climb this tree. And it was hanging over top of the water. And I was going to be like, yeah, look at me sitting out here on this tree. I'm cool. You know, I'm not going to fall in. And you kind of know what happened next. I fell in. Almost lost my glasses. Was soaking wet. It's like, all right, cool. So I stayed soaking wet for the rest of the trip. And we hung out there and chit-chatted for a while longer. And then we eventually kayaked back. And I went home. And she went home herself. So we continued talking on the phone. Having some fun. And then she eventually, it was time for meet number 2. All right, and meet number 2 just so happened to coincide with, it was the end of Awana. And everybody who apparently, we used to do, everybody who finished a book. Uh-oh, there's somebody coming. I gotta be quiet. Oh, hey. How was it? Did you find it? Yeah. Okay, cool. This is my.
We found out there's a small one, and then there's a really, really big
Correct.
one.
Yes.
So go to the second one.
So yeah, I was like, this is my first time doing it, but I read about it before I came up here.
That's what we did too.
So very nice. I just didn't bring my guard dog with me.
Yeah, he's real friendly.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know, dude.
Friendly, but he is.
Cool. All right. Well, you guys enjoy your afternoon. Anyways, all right, cool. Super nice young couple. Apparently go to the second one, which is what everybody said. First one is, which is actually the Devil's Bathtub, is not nearly as fun as the second one. Okay, cool. I'm gonna check both of them out. I'm gonna dive into both of them in reality. It's just not as cold as I thought it was. I'm getting kind of hot in this sweatshirt, but anyways. All right, so cool. We second day was Awana. You finished your book in Awana. It used to be that Awana used to take all the book finishers down to, a water park in North Carolina. So I invited her. I was going because I think Gabriel had finished his book and Bishop was going to be a chaperone. Peter wanted me else to be a chaperone. So, of course, I went. Now, another creek crossing that I got to find. The trail marker. I mean, the trail seems like he's going this way, but it kind of does not seem like it's going this way. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's pretty cool, but yeah, there's trail marker. Okay, cool. All right, found it. It's up this gigantic hill here. I'm gonna trip over a tree branch, get to it. All right, here we go. That's a big old rock to step up. Yeah, the trail running shoes were a huge plus in this one. Yeah, like I said, just looking for the trail markers is going to be half the fun here. All right, so anyways, we went to the water park together. And your mom, I think your mom was a little nervous about that because she was going to be in her swimsuit in front of me. Not quite sure how happy she would be about that. Excellent. Whew. But anyways, we went there. We had a good old time. I think me and your mom had a picture of this boat together somewhere where we both looked freaked out of our mind going down this hill. And so that was technically date number 2. I gotta be unimpressed with the 13 creeks I'm crossing here. I only crossed like 4. Maybe they're coming. Anyways, so around about that time, we were pretty serious. Your mom had said something to me about she was finishing up school and she needed to figure out what she was going to do with her life, where she's going to go. So we had talked about her coming to Virginia and teaching if we were going to be serious about our relationship. So your mom got an apartment, found a job. Well, why couldn't I just walk that? Found a job, got an apartment, came there and started working at Lucy Addison School. And she was there for that fall and that spring. Now that we continued dating, and I had toyed with the idea for a while about where your mom's and I relationship was going to go. And we would hang out. I eventually went down to see Mimi and Granddad. Met them, met the all family. Of course, they were all super nice. Was actually in Auntie Lydia's wedding with Uncle Scott. Uncle Scott was a complete mess, by the way. So nervous, about ready to probably throw up on himself. And that was fun. I remember meeting a bunch of the family. I remember meeting a guy named Job, who was bigger than me, which I don't see a lot of in life. And that was it. We came back. So shortly after Lydia and Uncle Scott married, I had started thinking about it harder with your mom about asking her to marry me. And I think I went to go buy her a ring. I shot for a ring for a while. I knew what she wanted. We had talked about it. She had told me what kind of ring she wanted. So I had talked to her about it. She had given me ideas. So I took her ideas and I went to the store and found this fantastic ring for your mom. Had a little trouble figuring out how I was going to pay for it. But we figured it out. And sure enough, this was around my birthday and her birthday. I want to say it was a couple days after her birthday. We were down, I think, in Greenville celebrating it. Oh, I didn't turn my watch on to gather any of this information. Hold on a sec here. It's not going to get a signal, so I'm not even sure what I'm trying. Anyways, so I talked to your mom. We were down in Greenville. Had said something to Granddad. Had said something to Granddad about it. Asked his permission. He said, of course. And sure enough, I walked out of the house, had the ring with me. It's like a Saturday night. I think we're heading to Jen and Uncle Ed's to play some Monopoly, which has its pros and cons. Like I said, I'm getting kind of warm, so we're going in the water. And I stopped literally right outside me and Granddad's house, and asked. I feel like I did the whole Braveheart thing. I loved you, always have, always will. I don't think I did that. I think I just asked your mom to, hey, do you want to marry a guy like me? Is a girl like you want to marry a guy like me? Huh. All right. And now I'm back to, don't know where I am. I lost the trailhead. All right. I mean, there's the marker right over here. Where do you go from here, though? Guess I'm gonna walk in the middle of the river here. Ah, there it is. I told you. Not marked very well at all. Bringing you guys up here would have been a pain in the booty. So anyways, your mom said yes, of course. She was super happy. She probably, I always thought your mom entertained the idea of that I probably should have done something more grand, but she saw how nervous I was to ask on that night, so she's always been like okay with me just simply asking and not doing anything over the top for her. Which in the end, I think she probably would have wanted like me to make this huge gesture. So we talked to Pastor Mark. Pastor Mark said, hey, when do you want to get married? And we had thought about possibly waiting a while to get some things squared away, her job, make sure she had one. And then she was like, Pastor Mark was like, I'm always in favor of getting married quicker than slower. So he said, how much time do you need to get everything together? So we talked to her parents. Remember, said they needed a couple months. I think this was June. So we picked like, hey, it's 5.5 months. Enough time for us to get it all put together. We can get married in November. Sure enough, we agreed it was. Pastor Mark said it was a good idea. So we went through his counseling program. We, Mom picked out our dress. We got our venue. We got our food. I mean, there's probably some things we would change about that. I think your mom's always said that she wouldn't want us, she probably would have gone more towards away from a dinner and more towards snack food instead of a dinner. But it was fun. It was a good night. And kind of been with your mom ever since. You know, your mom is the best person that God could have given me. She's helped me out with a lot. She's helped balance me. I've helped balance her. I mean, she does some things that really irk me, but they irk me because it's my own selfishness that I'm portraying upon her. And I'm like, yeah. So, we've got 8 tenths of a mile. Excellent. Your mom is a huge fan of words, spoken words, words of affirmation that's like if she could have any gift in the world, she wants something spoken from the heart. I mean, you could buy her jewelry and she'd appreciate it, and you could get her cars and houses and, you know, mow her lawn and do all kinds of acts of services. And of course, she's happy about that. But if you really want to get to mom's heart, is to say something from the heart, from your heart. And that is what she likes. She's not the most organized person in the world and everything. Of course, neither am I. But like I said, she really cares about our spirituality, our relationship with Christ. Me and yours, boys, and hers. Sometimes I think hers comes way later than it should. Somewhere that should be hers should be somewhere at the top instead of where everybody else is. But yeah, spiritually, she is on her game. Days, I'm all right about that. I got a lot of work left to do on that. Got a lot of work to become a leader in the spiritual realm. So, well, like I said, she does a fantastic job. You got schooling. Being home for the COVID-19, I've helped to understand more what she does and how she does it. She's also learned to understand more that she needs to communicate to me a lot more, which is kind of funny. Your mom's gift, she loves words of affirmation, but in reality, to me, she's not very good at communicating things getting done. That's not because she doesn't want to. It's just that, you know, for the longest period of time, she was raising you guys while I was at work. So she did things the way she wanted them done. She was nobody to tell. So, yeah. Anyways, like I said, I wouldn't trade your mom for anybody else. She's, like I said, she's done great things for me. Still does great things for me, and will probably still do great things for me. So, like I said, I would not trade her for anybody. And so, I struggle with that too. I struggle with appreciating your mom and not thinking about whether is the grass greener on the other side, which it never is. So first off, let's just say I can't leave your mom in the first place because we're married. You know, can't divorce her, can't leave her. Something happens to her. Let's just say I do the thing I'm not supposed to do, and I try to go build a relationship with somebody else. There's no guarantee that person is going to love the Lord as much as your mother does, or wants to raise my 5 kids as much as your mother does. That I got to relearn somebody's personality all over and their quirks. And so the fact of it is that, am I going to be able to trust that person as much as I trust your mom? I trust your mom to never do anything to me that's going to hurt me intentionally. I think your mom has been very trustworthy. She tells me that if something happened to me, she would not remarry. She cannot see herself with another man if I'm no longer here. So And I mean, I can understand why. I'm a hard man to replace. But anyways, yeah, your mom's a very hard woman to replace too as well. So I don't know what I would do without your mother. So enjoy it. I'm coming up on 35 minutes talking. This is going to take forever to load up YouTube when I finally get home. But like I said, always, your mom knows now. You guys have something to watch if you want to get to know me down the road more. You got it on some YouTube, boys. I'll try to find probably some other avenue will come forward. It'll be much easier to store on than just YouTube. So, all right, cool. But anyways, we're gonna go right here, knee deep in this water. Oh yeah, the water's, I'm hot. The water is super nice today. It's not super cold. That probably helps because I'm not freezing. I'm looking forward to getting in the water because I'm burning up with a sweatshirt on. But anyways, you know what? I'm already at 36 minutes. Let's go ahead and finish off the rest of the topics I had planned to talk to you guys here. So I told you about your mom. So I told you also about that me being home for this COVID-19 stuff. I learned our relationship, I think, has learned a lot. Like my love for your mom has deepened. I think her love for me has deepened. We've had our fights. We've had our arguments and our yellings. But I think it's all stuff we needed to get out of the way, that we needed to talk about. And so I'm a little scared to go back to work once all that stuff is, because I don't want that to change back to the way it was. I enjoy cooking dinner for you guys. I enjoy serving the family. And but my opinion of this whole COVID-19 stuff, as you get older, you'll learn, is I think it's been super silly, all the stuff that our governments and people have done to keep themselves safe away from COVID-19. So, give you a little backstory. This entire COVID thing started in China. Problem is they didn't report any of it, or they were really late in reporting it. I mean, the water is just so nice. And of course, then eventually, as China pretty much makes a bunch of stuff for everybody around the world, eventually the virus got out to a lot of European countries, and of course here in America. So in Europe, it started to rise really quick. Like, a lot of people started getting sick, a lot of people were dying from it. So they quarantined everybody. I'm like, you couldn't leave your house. They made it a mandate that you couldn't leave. And if you needed stuff, they would somehow get it to you. And that has started happening all over the world. So this was probably towards the end of 2019, first 2020. I mean, in the USA started having a couple cases. And I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. A lot of people were saying that we needed to watch it because it's going to turn into something nasty. But then a lot of people were saying, don't worry about it, blow over. I mean, it didn't really blow over. And it didn't really become nasty. It was just like a different form of the flu. But the media and all the government had drawn up so much fear of what it possibly could do, because we were seeing all this bad stuff happening in Europe, that we started making mandates ourselves. All right? So no more going out. They weren't going to stop anybody, though. They shut down beaches, shut down schools, shut down sporting events. We started like no mass gatherings. So it started off as, if you were 500 people and below, you're good to hang out. And then we dropped it down to 150. And then they dropped it down to 50. And then they dropped it down to 10. So you couldn't gather more than 10 people. And then it became, shut schools down. Jobs have to social distance. And it just became like everybody all of a sudden started chipping in like, this is horrible, we need to do something about it ASAP. And it just kind of kept going from there. So now we have to wear masks. We have to wear masks anytime we go inside of a building, if you're over the age of 10. Certain businesses are still closed. Some businesses are never going to open up again because they could be closed for 2 months. Without any business coming in, they're going to default on all the money they owe to somebody else. So it just turned into this, like, statistically, I think it's never good that people die. But statistically, the flu killed more people than COVID-19 did. But people have gotten used to the flu, it happening, and we got used to people dying from it. And we'll eventually get there at COVID-19 too as well. People will just be like, oh, you know what? People die. And it's that whole lack of life, or we devalue the life that's growing in our country. That, life is not more precious. Life, whatever life is, all of it's precious. Not ones we deem precious. And so now like I said, phase 1 is where some businesses have been able to back up. Phase 2 is we now can go back to eat at restaurants. But now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon because the number of corona cases are rising again. And so everybody's freaking out, talking about going back to phase 1, which is shut all businesses down and only business necessities can stay open. So, yeah, that's interesting. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Was never a fan of it. I think this was fear tactics for the government. Was able to use mandates to tell us what to do, which in reality, all government gets to the point where they become too power hungry and tell you how to live your life, which is stupid. God created us all equal. There's consequences and repercussions and things to, when you do stupid stuff. So just let people have personal accountability if you do something dumb. We don't need to take away things from people naturally because we have a small group of people who can't control themselves with it. So, yeah, I'm hoping we get away from all this. Like I said, that doesn't mean I go back to work, and I'm kind of scared about that. I don't think I really have any worries after that. My worry is just that once we start going back to church, like this has been the healthiest you guys ever had. We've hardly had no colds, nothing at all. But once you start going back to church, we're going to start recatching that stuff, and it would really suck if COVID-19 or the flu made its way back into our house. I really think we had COVID-19 in January because you guys struggled with some respiratory stuff really bad, especially Clark, and I think Thaddeus. So I'm hoping that it all goes away. All right, I'm gonna get off here, start looking around. There's a nice little fall down here and some water, but there's no way for me to get down there to look at it. So I'm gonna start focusing, maybe take some more pictures of some stuff. And I'll talk to you guys later. Like I said, I'm about probably a mile and a half in, so I should be coming up on the first bathtub here soon. So, all right, love you guys. I'll see you later. And if you guys find me something's happened and this is all video I have left of me, I just want you guys to know I love you. I always have loved you. Always will love you no matter what. Please go after the Lord. He is the only answer in life. He is the only way, the true happiness, the true joy. You're going to chase a lot of things in life. Daddy did. I chased a lot of things. But nothing you chase is going to be like chasing Christ and living for him. So, all right. Like I said, do that for me. Look at that. Bam. Wow. I'm pretty sure somebody's tried to mountain climb that before. All right, love you guys. I'll see you later.